Gentlemen, have you ever been so flattered by a woman's words that you dropped your guard only to later regret it? Perhaps she told you how strong you are, or that you're the best she's ever been with, and you suddenly found yourself solving her problems, paying her bills, or excusing behavior you knew was wrong. This isn't love. It's a calculated strategy. The most effective manipulation doesn't come from harsh words, but from sweet ones used repeatedly at just the right moments to bend you to her will. The cost of falling for it can be high. Wasted years, lost money, and broken trust. But the truth is, you can spot these patterns if you know what to look for. Today, I'll reveal the 5 sweet lies women use to control men, and a bonus red flag that will tell you if she's genuine or just using you. Science shows the female brain is much more receptive to positive reinforcement, while the female brain is more attuned to negative signals. What does this mean for you? When a woman compliments you, your guard automatically lowers. You feel validated, special, and chosen, which is precisely why sweet talk is the perfect weapon to guide you exactly where she wants you to go. Number 1, I love our conversations. On the surface, this sounds like a wonderful thing for a woman to say. Every man wants to believe his presence, his words, and his mind are so captivating that she can't get enough. And sometimes this is truly genuine. However, if she says it constantly, but never makes an effort to see you in person, it's not a real connection. It's a substitute. She isn't choosing you. She's using you as a placeholder until something better comes along. When a woman genuinely values your conversations, she will naturally want to match that emotional connection with a physical one. She'll make time to it across from you, to laugh together in real life, and to deepen what you've already started. Words can be a bridge, but actions are what build the road. If you're only getting words and the bridge leads nowhere, you're not her man, you're her placeholder. Take David, a 52-year-old engineer who was a few years divorced. He tried online dating and met a woman who was very charming via text. Every night she'd say, "I love our conversations. You're the only one who gets me." At first, David felt special, believing he'd finally found someone who appreciated his humor and his mind. But every time he asked to meet for dinner, she had an excuse. Late work, a family crisis, or not feeling well. After months of texting, he realized she never had any intention of meeting. David wasn't her partner. He was her emotional crutch, a safe option to lean on when she was bored or lonely while keeping her real life open for someone else. Here's the harsh truth. If a woman only engages with you on her terms through her phone and at her convenience, you're not building intimacy. You are simply providing attention, which can be addictive. She gets her fix of validation while you mistake her availability to chat for genuine interest. This confusion is dangerous because men are biologically wired to respond strongly to positive stimuli. When she says a sweet line like, "I love our conversations," your brain lights up and you confuse comfort with commitment. So how do you know if her words are real? Watch what happens when you try to shift the dynamic. Invite her into your real life. Suggest coffee, a walk, or dinner. If she consistently avoids it, the message is clear. She loves the idea of having you on the hook, but she doesn't love the effort of actually showing up. A woman who truly values you won't just love the words you type. She'll want to feel your presence. The solution is simple, but it's not easy. Stop giving your endless energy to women who refuse to meet you in reality. Don't be her emotional janitor, cleaning up her boredom at midnight through text messages. Value your time and your presence. If she's not willing to match her words with action, step back and invest in someone who will. And here's where it gets even trickier. Once she realizes words alone won't keep you, she might step up her game. That's when the compliments start pouring in. Aim directly at your ego. Number 2, you're so amazing, so strong, so generous. Let's be honest, what man doesn't love to hear this? When a woman calls you handsome, powerful, successful, or generous, it speaks to the deepest part of your ego. Compliments feel like rocket fuel, especially for men. Your brain lights up with dopamine, and for armament you feel invincible. But here's the catch. If she's only saying it to set you up for a request, it's not admiration, it's strategy. Flattery on its own isn't dangerous. We all need it, and in a healthy relationship, it flows naturally. But when every compliment is followed by a request, you know you're not being celebrated. You're being softened up. It's like a salesperson who tells you how smart you are, right? Before they slide a contract across the table. She isn't admiring you. She's conditioning you. Mark, a 47-year-old business owner, learned this the hard way. He dated a woman who constantly told him, "You're so generous. You're the kindest man I've ever met." At first, Mark felt proud. Finally, someone saw his good heart. But soon, every compliment had a price. After praising his generosity, she'd mentioned her phone bill that needed paying. A week later, after calling him a strong man, she hinted about her broken fence. By the third month, it was her rent. The pattern was clear. Compliments in, requests out. Mark realized he wasn't in a romance. He was in a transaction. The key thing to notice is the timing. Real admiration stands on its own, but fake admiration comes with strings attached. If she tells you you're amazing and then soon after asks for money, favors, or for you to solve her problems, you're being played. These requests aren't always financial. They could be endless rides, constant errands, or emotional labor she should be handling herself. The issue isn't the size of the ask, it's the predictable pattern. Here's the solution. When she compliments you, don't let it cloud your judgment. Instead, pause and observe. Does the praise stand by itself, or does it open the door to a hidden agenda? There's a simple test. Just say, "Thank you," and leave it at that. If she smiles and the moment stays light, it's genuine. If she pivots to, "Actually, could you help me with?" then you have your answer. A woman who truly values you compliments you because it brings her joy to uplift you, not because she wants to profit from your pride. Real love fuels you. Manipulation drains you. If you ignore this difference, you'll end up pouring your resources into someone who doesn't love you, but only loves what you can provide. Your ego can be your biggest weakness, and once she learns how to play it, she'll keep pressing that button. But what happens when she hits the button? Every man is most vulnerable to the one tied directly to your masculinity in the bedroom. Number 3, you're the best lover I've ever had. Every man wants to hear this. It strikes at the very core of male pride, the idea that you're not just good in bed, but the best she's ever had is intoxicating. For a man, being crowned the king of the bedroom feels like the ultimate validation of masculinity. But sometimes this line isn't about you at all. It's about control. When this is genuine, it shows up naturally. Maybe after a night of undeniable chemistry, she leans in and says, "You make me feel things no one else has." That's sincere, and you'll see it backed by her actions, affection, warmth, and consistent respect outside the bedroom. But when it's a tactic, it usually appears exactly when she needs to distract you, pacify you, or cover something up. Imagine this. She's been distant for a few days. You sense something is off, or you might have even confronted her about flirting online or hiding something. Instead of answering directly, she disarms you. She pulls you close, praises you, and suddenly your doubts feel smaller. You think, why would she say that if she wasn't truly into me? But that's the trap. The compliment isn't proof, it's camouflage. It works because sexual validation is a hot button for men. Science shows that male brains respond powerfully to positive reinforcement tied to performance. If she tells you you're the best she's ever had, it flips a switch. You feel chosen, irreplaceable, and above the competition. In that state, you're less likely to question her or push back. She's not just flattering you, she's sedating your defenses. So, how do you spot the difference? Look at what follows. A genuine compliment strengthens intimacy, leading to more closeness and mutual care. A manipulative compliment is usually followed by a request or an excuse. She might ask for forgiveness for something you caught her doing, expect you to overlook a red flag, or use it to distract from her slipping effort in their relationship. Here's the solution. Don't let your pride blind you. When you hear, "You're the best lover I've ever had," smile and appreciate it, but don't let it override reality. Ask yourself, Does her overall behavior match her words? Is she showing up outside the bedroom with the same respect, commitment, and consistency? If the answer is no, then that line isn't a compliment, it's currency. She's paying you in flattery to buy herself more freedom to act without accountability. Your strength lies in being able to separate your ego from your judgment. If you can enjoy the compliment without being controlled by it, you win. Otherwise, you'll keep excusing behavior that chips away at your dignity. And here's the kicker. If she can manipulate you with intimacy, imagine what happens when she uses the 3 most powerful words in the English language. Number 4, I love you. These 3 little words are what every man longs to hear. They can melt defenses, heal wounds, and make you feel like the center of her world. But sometimes I love you isn't an expression of deep affection. It's a tactical move. When those words are used in the wrong context or at the wrong time, they stop being a gift and start being a tool in a healthy, same. With tears in her eyes, she would whisper, "But I love you." At first, John softened, thinking, if she really loves me, maybe I'm overreacting. But he eventually realized those words were never followed by changed behavior. They were just a shield to deflect accountability. The love was conditional. It only appeared when she needed to neutralize his boundaries to protect yourself. Pay attention to the context, frequency, and aftermath. Does she say, "I love you" in moments of genuine closeness, or only when she wants something? Does she repeat it like a broken record every time you resist, as if trying to override your instincts? And most importantly, what happens after real love creates lasting warmth? Manipulative love disappears. Is the moment you give in until the next demand. The solution is simple but firm. Don't measure love by words alone. Test it against actions. When she says, "I love you," observe what follows. Does she respect your boundaries or does she push them? Does her behavior align with her declaration? Or does she use the phrase as a reset button whenever she feels cornered? If it's the latter, those words aren't a confession. They're currency traded for your compliance. It hurts to admit this. But it's better to face the truth now than to be slowly drained over years. Real love thrives on honesty and action. Fake love hides behind timing and excuses. And if you think, "I love you" can be manipulative, wait until you hear the 4 words designed to strike right at a man's protector instinct. Number 5, you're my hero. These 4 words can melt a man faster than anything else. Why? Because every man deep down wants to be seen as strong, reliable, and the one she can count on. Being called a hero taps into your protector instinct. It's flattering and noble. It makes you believe you're indispensable. But sometimes it's not admiration, it's bait. When it's sincere, "You're my hero" comes from gratitude. Maybe you helped her through a tough week or stood by her during a crisis. In those cases, the words are backed by appreciation. You see it in how she treats you afterward with respect, reciprocity, and care. She admires you for who you are, not just for what you can do. But when it's manipulation, the phrase is always tied to a need. She calls you her hero right before asking for help with something she should be handling herself. Suddenly, being her hero means fixing her car, paying her bills, or bailing her out of a mess she created. Notice the pattern. The title of hero is dangled in front of you like a medal, but the cost of keeping it gets higher and higher. Here's the danger. Once you accept this role, you'll start overgiving to protect the identity she's created for you. You don't want to lose the admiration, so you keep proving yourself again and again. Meanwhile, she doesn't actually respect you. She's managing you. You're not her hero. You're her handyman, her financer, her safety net. So how can you tell the difference? Pay attention to how often the word appears. Real gratitude isn't rehearsed. It's genuine and rare. Manipulation, on the other hand, is predictable. If "You're my hero" shows up every time she needs something, you're not being loved. You're being leveraged. The solution is simple. Don't let your need for validation trap you. If she calls you her hero, thank her, but don't rush to prove it. Step back and ask yourself, is this something she could and should be handling herself? And would she still call me her hero if I said no? That's the real test. If the admiration disappears the moment you stop serving her, it wasn't admiration at all. It was a mask. You don't need a woman to crown you a hero. Your worth doesn't come from saving someone whore fuses to save herself. A real partner won't need you to constantly prove your value through sacrifice. She'll admire you for who you are, not just for what you can provide. And this brings us to the breaking point. While hero flatters your ego, the most dangerous phrase doesn't sound sweet at all. It's bitter and guilt-ridden, and it usually comes right after you say no. This phrase isn't one of the 5 sweet lies, but it's just as manipulative. It typically shows up the moment you finally push back and dare to say no. That's when you'll hear the classic guilt trip. You don't care about me or you don't love me. This line isn't meant to flatter you. It's designed to break you. Its purpose is to flip the script and make you feel like the bad guy for simply protecting yourself. When a woman uses this, she's not speaking from love or hurt. She's speaking from a desire for control. David, the 52-year-old engineer from earlier, faced this exact trap. After months of being her texting companion, the woman he was seeing asked him to buy her a designer handbag. When David politely declined, explaining it wasn't his responsibility, her response was instant. If you love me, you do it. You don't care about me at all. Suddenly, he wasn't a man with healthy boundaries. He was painted as selfish, cold, and cruel. For a moment, David questioned himself, wondering if he was being too harsh or failing her. That self-doubt was the exact reaction she wanted. This tactic works because most men fear being seen as unloving. When she attacks that core part of your identity, you scramble to prove her wrong. You buy the gift, you cave on the boundary, and you swallow your no. The moment you do, the cycle is locked in. Every time you resist, she'll reach forth that same weapon. It's emotional blackmail disguised as a test of love. But love doesn't need constant proof, nor does it demand that you sacrifice your dignity to show you care. Real love respects limits. Fake love punishes them. So, how do you deal with this? First, recognize it for what it is. Manipulation. Don't get dragged into debating whether you care. You already know the truth. Second, respond with clarity instead of defense. Say something like, "My love isn't measured by gifts or favors. It's measured by respect. If you can't see that, then this isn't love." This response shuts down the guilt trip and shifts their responsibility back to her behavior. Men, you don't owe proof of your love every time you say no. A relationship where no is unacceptable isn't a partnership. It's a hostage situation. If her affection only survives when you comply, it's not love at all. By now, you've seen how ordinary words like, "I love our conversations, you're amazing," or "you're my hero" can be used as weapons. It's never about the phrase itself. It's about the timing, the frequency, and the aftermath. This is the invisible pattern that determines whether you're being cherished or controlled. The 5 sweet lies we've uncovered. I love our conversations. You're so amazing. You're the best lover. I love you and you're my hero are not inherently evil. They are beautiful words when they are sincere. But when they are used in the wrong context or at the wrong time, they stop being loved and start being leveraged. Too many men only realize this after years of being drained, years of paying bills that weren't theirs, of forgiving behavior that never changed, and of carrying the weight of a relationship that was never truly mutual. Don't let that be your story. You don't have to wait until you've lost money, time, and self-respect to wake up. You can see their flags now and step out before the damage gets worse. The truth is, genuine love doesn't have a price tag. It doesn't demand proof through endless favors or transactions. Love that is genuine stands strong even when you say no. It is shown through respect, consistency, and care, not through guilt or manipulation. So let me leave you with this. Pay attention to the patterns. If her sweetest words always have strings attached, that's not love. It's control.